here. You are at the MountainTop Strings Saturday event, and you just had a chance to see that awesome 35-minute or 30-minute video of the strings performances. And gosh, what week are we on? I think this is what, week 4? Yeah, week 4 now. So with that being said, I just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping before we all get started. And so let me go ahead and introduce the moderator, who is Tori. She's got the Big Bear Connected team. She is going to be moderating this interview process, and she's also going to be unmuting each and every one of you if you have dropped a question. There is going to be a question and answer portion at the very end. So start thinking about some questions that you would like to ask these awesome interviewees, which Sharon is going to be introducing momentarily, and start dropping in some questions that you would like to ask these awesome musicians, and also Sharon, director, maestra Sharon Rizzo. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I'd like to introduce some important people that are here this morning. First and foremost, of course, Sharon Rizzo, maestra and director of MountainTop Strings. Woo, woo, woo. Welcome, welcome. And of course, we've got our community liaison for the MountainTop Strings, and also the piano accompanist who has traversed across the miles, Barbara King. Wave hello to everyone. Yay! And we can't forget about Bob Perry, who works tirelessly to make sure that our videos are edited appropriately. And I mean, this guy is a rock star. I mean, okay. I can't believe the editing that this guy does. Thanks so much, Bob. Bob is our media guru, and he makes all of these awesome videos possible. So thanks so much for joining us. And Sharon, I'm just going to pass it on to you now. If you would like to introduce these lovely attendees, we're going to go ahead and turn off all the videos now and get started. So Sharon, take it away.
All right. Hi, everybody. Today we have 3 of our MountainTop Strings performers, string players, 3, of course, awesome players and people. And we have Neva Hidajat, who is currently finishing up her freshman year at Rin High over in Lake Arrowhead. And on our last tour, she was one of our youngest members, only 13 years old. And so great violinist. And then we have from Big Bear, Logan Mandolini, our cellist. He is a junior in high school at Big Bear High School. And great guy, you saw him do that solo in the Doobie Brothers song a little while ago. And then finally we have Vincent Steger, who is a senior violinist, also from our Lake Arrowhead program. And actually both Logan and Vincent have been on 3 tours with us. So they're kind of veterans at this. And Vincent will be, has about a year and a half, 2 years ago, has made the turn, the commitment, the decision to major in music in violin performance at Cal State Long Beach. So congratulations, Vincent. And I will turn it back over to Kim.
Awesome, thanks, Sharon. Okay, well, just a reminder too that we are going to be turning on the videos as soon as all the interviewees are finished with their interviews, so that we can see your beautiful faces and interact with you, and that will be during the Q&A portion. So also wanted to make sure that you knew that the chat, if you take your mouse and you move it down to the bottom of the screen, you'll see at the bottom there's a control panel. And just click on the chat, and a chat box will pop up, and you can type a message, a question for any of these lovely kids, and you can do it at any time. So feel free to drop it in there at any time during this interview process, okay? Awesome, thanks for doing that, Tori. Tori just did a little pop-up. If you look at the bottom, you can see the chat room just lit up. in orange, and that's where it's at. So fantastic. All right, so Neva, I'm going to start with you first.
Okay.
I did have the opportunity to travel with all three of these gorgeous kids, and they are truly amazing. Just so much fun, and and so this is interesting too. I didn't know a lot until I received these questions to ask each of you. So these are still things that I didn't even know about you, even though I spent 2 weeks in Europe with all of you. All right. So Neva, you are a young lady of many varied interests and talents. And I didn't know this, but you have been an international ice skating competitor. Whoa!
Yeah.
And a district-wide winner of the American Legion Oratorical Contest. My goodness, you're only 13. This is amazing already. How do you choose to, I mean, how do you find time for your violin practice and your performances with MountainTop Strings? So in other words, speak to your value of the music studies that you have on top of all these other things that you've got going on.
Well, first of all, I'm 14 now, by the way.
Oh,
I was
you're 14
13.
now.
I was 13 during the tour. But so I'm sure that many other people are busier, just as busy or even busier than I am. And so keeping up with my music studies along with everything else that I have hasn't really been a problem for me because I genuinely enjoy doing all those things. So for me, time management, I guess, is an important skill to juggle everything, but I really enjoy doing it, so it doesn't really feel like a burden for me. And I'm really thankful to MountainTop Strings for giving me the opportunity to travel abroad to Italy with all these amazing musicians and the chaperones that I got to meet and Miss Rizzo. All the work that we put into it, I feel like really paid off. So I'm very thankful for that.
Thank you. Barbara King just said, wow, Neva, time management skills, fabulous. I totally agree. I totally agree, Barbara. That is a great habit to form right now. And kudos to you, Neva. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, Mr. Logan Mandolini, you're up next, sir. Let's get you unmuted.
All right.
Okay. All right, so Logan, along with your high level academic studies, you enjoy composing music for strings and other instruments. What a talent. And you actually have been able to have the opportunity to compose some music for the program, the Mountaintop Strings program. One of your pieces for last year's Bach to Rock concert was featured, right?
Yep.
And so, Logan, what motivates you to compose? And do you plan on continuing your composing efforts into the future?
Well, I started composing in 7th grade when after I watched a movie called August Rush. And it's a movie about a boy who is orphaned and both of his parents are musicians. And he's a wonder at music, and he writes music, and he's really young, but he's just a natural. And after watching that, I started writing. I just went right to my room. I downloaded a program and I just started learning. And after about 3 years, I started getting pretty good at it. I just taught myself. And eventually that led to me deciding to propose one of the pieces that I'd written to Sharon. And that piece was called Life. And we ended up playing that at the Bach to Rock concert. And that was really cool. That was really cool. What motivates me, I don't really know. Sometimes I feel like I just need to write. And I take a few hours out of the day and I just write. And it always turns out really, really well. And I always enjoy it.
Sounds like you follow your heart.
As much
Sounds
as
like
I
you're
can.
following your heart and your passions. That's wonderful. Thank you, Logan. I do want to say that I've had the experience of witnessing your your evolvement in the Mountaintop Strings, and keep going, because it's been really, really so wonderful watching you, Logan. You know, watching all of you. So Sharon, you had a comment.
I just wanted to comment on Logan's compositions because, you know, I've had a lot of offers or requests to play certain pieces on our concerts and work on them and stuff like that. So, and I can't always honor those requests, but I try to when I can. But Logan's music has a very rich and deep quality to it, almost like you could tell he's a cello. There's a lot of dark, deep, and rich sounds coming from the cellos and the violas, and it also has a very beautiful quality to it. So keep going, Logan. Love your stuff.
Thanks.
Oh, what a compliment. That's awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Logan. And now for Vincent. Vincent is a senior this year, and you have been with Mountaintop Strings for the longest period of time out of all the interviewees. And you have traveled to Italy 3 times. What a lucky guy with Mountaintop Strings. So we understand that you're going to be attending Cal State University in Long Beach in the fall. And you will be entering the Bob Cole Conservatory of Music as a violin performance major. That is so cool. So tell us what led to this decision of yours and your feelings about your new adventure coming up. Talk to us.
Yeah, all right. So music has always been the most important activity, I think, all throughout my childhood. It's above everything else. I've always been in the Arrowhead Arts program in Mountaintop Strings, and plenty of other programs. So my decision to go into college in music came down to if I wanted to continue music, like to have it be the most important, be as important as it has been all my life. I felt like I needed to major in it, because if I went into a different profession, if I go into a different profession, I think it'll stop taking a forefront in my life, and I don't want it. I never wanted that to happen. And
so it sounds
plus,
like you really want to follow your passion too, right?
Right.
That's your love is music.
Yeah.
And there were some other things you were interested in too, though, right?
And always, the other musicians in my orchestras and Arrowhead Arts and Mountaintop Strings, they've always been a big inspiration. I've always looked up to them for just their capabilities and their musical talents. So as a child, I wanted to get to that level myself one day. And why I wanted to go to Long Beach in particular is just because it's a new environment. It's a great school, and at Long Beach I'll have great teachers there. I've been on some Zoom studio lessons already, and they've had the guest famous violinist Midori Goto on every time, and so she gives feedback, and that's really cool. But for the future, I'm actually kind of worried right now, at least for my first semester of college, because I don't know if they're going to open up or not due to the virus, and I think it'll be really hard to learn music and music performance online over the internet. So hopefully something is figured out.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We'll know more pretty soon here, because things are changing all the time, right? Well, we're excited for your future, Vincent. Thank you so much for sharing. Did you have anything to add, anyone? Sharon? Yeah? No?
Yeah, Vincent, I just want to comment on his determination, especially over the last 2 years. You know, he did start with us when he was very young in 2016. That was your first one, yes? Yeah, so it was his first tour, and then he kept coming back and he worked his way up into that leadership position. He was our concert master in Arrowhead Arts program this past year, and he's just turned himself into a very high level refined player. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yes, congrats. Very laser focused. He has a very focused demeanor whenever he's playing, for sure. Okay, so now we're gonna start over with Neva. Out of all the pieces you've ever performed over the years, Neva, over your many 14 years, what was your favorite and why?
My favorite piece to learn and perform was Starlight, because that piece we played the first year I joined YAE, and I was still pretty young then. I was in 7th grade. So I really got the chance playing that piece to learn from older musicians like Vincent and alumni that have already graduated like Elijah, Sydney, Palea. And I really enjoyed playing with them because having those older musicians to look up to and aspire to be like while I was pretty new to YAE, that song really stayed special in my memory because of that.
Okay, I think in the essence of time here and moving right along, I'm going to keep asking you a few more questions. What was the most challenging piece that you ever played?
Different pieces were challenging for different reasons. Probably the hardest one to learn was Hoedown that we played on the tour. That one was challenging, and then Kashmir was also challenging because while performing it, we're often very high energy, so it was hard not to keep from rushing the piece.
Yeah. Gotcha. And then what's your favorite genre of music that you like to play?
To play, I think I like playing rock music and classical music. They both have very different feels to them, but I enjoy performing both.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, Logan, out of all the pieces that you've ever performed over the years with MountainTop Strings, what is your favorite and why? Oh, he's muted. There we go.
Okay, we're good. All right. You say my favorite piece?
Yeah, out of all the pieces you've ever performed, your favorite piece?
Yeah, that would be River Flows.
River Flows.
Yeah. That one's just moving.
Why was it the most? Yeah, so the most because it was moving to you. Awesome. Yeah, I love that one. That's one of my favorites too. What's the most challenging piece that you've ever played?
I think it was my part in the Mendelssohn Octet a while ago. That was probably the most challenging.
And then, what's your favorite genre of music?
To play or just in general?
In general.
Okay. I think indie.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, Vincent, you're up.
Yeah, my favorite piece was probably the last movement of Dvorak's string quartet, American String Quartet. We worked on it the whole year. It was really fun to play, and I learned a lot along the way.
What about your most challenging piece?
I'd say the same thing. There's plenty of different bow strokes. It shifts from very long, fast passages to a lot more slow passages, and plenty of dynamic shifts. So lots of different things to worry about, but it was definitely most interesting and fun to play.
What came to mind is that lots of different things that your brain has to switch to, right? So, okay. And then your favorite genre of music, and I do mean the favorite genre that you play.
Yeah. I always enjoyed the American pieces we've played. They always have a lot of either passion or excitement to them, I feel like, and they're always pretty challenging too, I'd say. Hoedown as well, like how Neva said. Yeah, they're just really exciting and enjoyable to play.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, all three of you. Okay, looks like we're getting some questions that people are dropping in the chat, but for those of you who have arrived a little bit later, if you would like to drop some questions into the chat area below, and any questions that you might want to ask the three interviewees, and also Sharon. So yeah, just wanted to remind you, because we've got a couple of more questions, and then we're going to open that up. So kids, out of all the tours and the many concerts, the pre-concerts that you performed, what was your most memorable performance and why? And then if you could add what your future plans in music and life are. So out of all the tours and the pre-concerts, what was your most memorable performance and why? And then what are your future plans in music and life? We know a little bit about what Vincent wants to do, but I want to hear more from all of you. Starting with Neva.
My favorite concert was our first concert in Italy. It was part of a music festival or a summer music festival called Lungo il Tevere. And the concert was along the Tiber River. And I remember it was so pretty to play our music while watching the sun go down and the reflections in the river alongside us. And also I really got to feel the energy of the Italian people. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but they were clapping along to our music for Italian Folk Festival. And so those memories really stick with me today.
Cool. And then what are your plans, future?
Right, my future plans. So I'd like to continue playing music for as much as I can, whether it be with MountainTop Strings or beyond that in the future as part of college ensembles or something like that. I'm not really sure yet, but I do enjoy music, so I hope to stay with it. And in the future, I'd like to be an orthopedic surgeon. And the reason behind that is when I was a figure skater, from training and everything, I'd get a bunch of injuries. So I'd go to the orthopedic surgeon plenty of times for checkups and stuff like that. And it really inspired me to see how they help so many people, athletes and just people in general. So that's why I'd like to be an orthopedic surgeon in the future.
Very cool. Thank you, Neva. And I just have to say, I thought it was so cute because she was saying she liked the energy of the Italian people, but she did her hands like this, and I felt like she was kind of channeling her Italian side there. Because they really are very big with their hand motions, right? How funny. Okay. All right. Mr. Logan Mandolini, how about you? Out of all the tours and pre-concerts that you've performed in, what was your most memorable performance and why, and your future plans?
I think the most memorable performance I had was the very last one in Italy, in the last tour. When we were playing in that square, and I got to play that, what was it? The Doobie Brothers Black Water song. That was my favorite because I felt so connected with the environment and with the people and with the music. It was just raw. It was great.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Logan. And then future plans in music and life, if you can go that far, if you've thought that far yet.
Yeah, I'm thinking about majoring or minoring in music composition, and I want to write and play music for my entire life. But you know, I still need to figure out how to implement it into my career, because there are so many opportunities, and I'm actually really looking into what my life purpose is right now, and I'm really
Yes.
feeling for it. So.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. That's going to be an exciting thing for our world if you decide that that's where you want to go with your passion. Is
Mm-hmm.
you really are. It's definitely it shows. So, okay, Vincent,
Yeah,
you
well,
are up.
my favorite concert was our mass animation in Orvieto, in the big cathedral there. Essentially, what a mass animation is, our orchestra provided the music for a Catholic mass in the cathedral. I liked it a lot because it was a different setting and occasion for our performances. It it was kind of like a community service for the people of Italy. I thought it was cool that we got to enhance one of their regular routines, and obviously we always try to do justice to the grandeur and beauty of the cathedrals and places we go, and so it playing in a place like that always inspires me to just play as well as I can, and also it was a lot more of a relaxed environment than some of the other performances. Usually we're running around trying to get to our performances, and it's pretty hectic. But this one, we stayed at a hotel just a walk away from the cathedral, and it was just a really relaxing experience.
It was, and I wanted to say first of all, thank you, because you actually jogged my memory of that moment when we were in that beautiful church, and it really was. And I wanted to share some of the comments. So the Zamoidas are saying that was such an incredibly moving and spiritual experience when we were in that church.
Definitely.
And just and like you were saying, they were having a ceremony of theirs, and we were witnessing the ceremony, and they had the beautiful incense, the smells, and just the sounds of you all playing. It was just, it gave me chills. Barbara said that, yeah, she loves the thought of you saying that, doing justice to the grandeur of the cathedrals. And it was just perfect. The fact that we were all in this setting, and to hear you all playing your music, it was just amazing. And then let's see, who else? Yes, the mass animation. It was solemn and very, very, very meaningful. Becky DeGree, the mass in Orvieto was definitely one of the highlights for me. Amazing. So it sounds like all of us who were there, that was one of our highlights too. So, okay, thank you so much, kids, for answering all of these questions. Now we get to turn on all of the videos now to see all these beautiful faces. So share your videos so we can see you, so all the kids can see you. And now we can enjoy, I guess, okay, yeah. So Tori's gonna turn on all the videos now. Yay! Thanks for joining us, yay! Okay, so Sharon, do you have any final comments about anything before we start asking any? And Tori, I'm gonna go ahead and have Tori come on. Tori's the moderator. She's gonna be sharing the questions with everyone.
I just wanted to say thank you three for your beautiful comments and well thought out answers and sharing your experiences, and it just really takes us all back, and to look back, because as time passes, those memories fade, and you never forget how meaningful it was, but we all need to be reminded. So thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so Tori, do we have any questions?
Yeah, so Bob Perry actually posted one, and I'm going to unmute Bob so you can go ahead and ask it yourself. All right, and unmuting. There you go, Bob.
Oh, thank you. I asked, I think this question was asked a few weeks ago of Christian, but I'll ask it again because it's a different group of kids. Of all the extracurricular activities you all did in Italy, like bike riding and gourmet cooking lessons and swimming, which extracurricular activity did you enjoy the most?
For me, on my first on the first tour I went on, we toured the Stradivarius Museum in Cremona, and that was really fun because we learned about a piece of history and also our something musical. And after that, I think we went to a violin maker's shop and got to play on an old instrument. That was really fun too.
I really enjoyed the night bike ride through Rome because it allowed us to escape the heat of the city because it was at night, while also exploring a new perspective of Rome when all the lights are on from our bikes. So we really got to travel through the streets and see and really connect with the culture. So I enjoyed the bike ride a lot.
Logan?
Just mute something.
All right, I'm here. My favorite extracurricular activity was biking across Tuscany because my favorite part of that was the heat and how much, like, when you're sweating like crazy and you're just flying down a hill, it feels so real. And that was just a great experience. I loved that more than anything.
I think Logan and I liked the bike rides for different reasons.
Yep.
Awesome. Any other questions?
This was from, oh, Barbara has a question.
I just want Director Rizzo figures out all these different amazing cathedrals and concerts and places to go, and to every tour is so different, yet every tour is so magnificent. And I know she doesn't sleep very much, but how do you figure that out, Maestro Rizzo?
How do I figure out
Where to go and all those like mass animations in Orvieto and that sort of thing?
Yeah. Well, I think from experience, having done this a few times, each time I want to make each one different and better than the last. And I know that cathedrals and basilicas are like the place to play in Italy, but also I think it's important to, mix it up a little bit. And when the mass animation was presented to us, I thought that was really, I really didn't know what to expect. And we only played 4 pieces of music, but as Vincent said, it was something very, very different and very, very meaningful. I just tried to kind of, look at each place and, as far as the experiences and the bike rides that we got on the bike rides back in 2013 when we did the Sound of Music bike ride in Salzburg. And ever since then, I've been adding like 3 of them for each tour because it's just so different. And so, it's just a way to see a lot of cover a lot of ground without being on foot and listening to an organized tour. So I don't know, I spent a lot of time looking at places, looking at venues, declining a lot. And of course we have our lovely Anna Bernabai from Stop in Italy in Rome. She's been our friend since 2012, since the very first tour, and ever since then she's become our friend, and we communicate with her all the time. So she has that sort of relationship with us, just that like she's our friend. And when we go back there, it's like kind of going home in a way. And then one last thing I wanted to also expand on what Vincent said about we got to tour the Stradivarius Museum in Cremona. I kind of came up with that myself, basically because Cremona is the city of violin making, for those of you who don't know. And we have been there twice, not on this last one, but there's about over 200 violin shops there, and that's like the violin string playing hub, string making hub of the entire world. So in northern Italy, so definitely a place to go. So
Okay, well, I think we might have one more, we might have time for one more question. Do we have any other questions, Tori? She's checking.
So this was from Danielle's iPad. I don't know if Danielle's with us anymore, but I'll go ahead and ask this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, well, it's Danielle, I don't know, are you Danielle? But you're using Danielle's iPad.
All right, I'm gonna unmute them and they can ask that question to Vincent.
Hey, this is Vincent's Uncle Mike. Hello, Vince.
Hey, Mike.
Hello, everybody. Vincent, first I want to make sure that you're keeping up on your fly fishing and your violin has not gotten in the way of that. So just make sure you make time.
Definitely.
Is there one piece of music that you aspire to play one day? Is there something that's just out of reach right now?
Yeah, actually, for a long time, I've wanted to play the Devil's Trill Sonata. I always thought it was a really interesting and unique piece. It's a Baroque piece, but it really sounds different, and it was always really hard for me. But right now, I'm actually just started working on it, and it's coming along well.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a great question. And seeing that that's a question for Vincent, I would love to hear from Neva and Logan. Is there a piece that you would like to aspire someday that you have in your mind? Yeah?
Actually, so I first heard this piece on the radio this one time, and it's called Zigeunerweisen by Pablo Sarasate. And I really enjoyed playing that piece. Like the beginning on the G string, it was so pretty, and I would love to learn that piece one day in the future. But right now, I don't think my skills really match up with the skills required in the piece. But hopefully one day I'll be able to play that.
A girl can dream, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Neva. How about you, Logan?
You know, I really have no idea.
Okay.
I think the piece that's just out of reach that I want to play is the piece I haven't written yet.
Oh, I love it. Yes. Good answer. Okay, well, I think we're going to be wrapping it up now. Before we close, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thanks to all the families that support these kids and friends that have come here to join the interview. Thanks to Neva, Logan, and Vincent. We are so incredibly proud of all of you, and we look forward to seeing you performing in the future and to stay in touch with all of you to see where you take your amazing talents and your passions. And Sharon, just wanted to say, how can anyone reach the Mountaintop Strings, and are any final comments that you might have?
Well, I just wanted to give a shout out to Linda Wilson, who is here with us today. She is, and also our Arrowhead Arts program.
Yay!
Linda is Neva's private teacher, and she also has some other private students, and both of us teach the Arrowhead Arts program, and on these Mountaintop Strings tours, we do pull a number of students from that program. So thanks for being here, Linda. You're muted, but I can see your head, so.
Yeah. Hi,
anyway,
Linda.
so So thanks everyone for being here, and we hope to continue next Saturday. And
Miss Rizzo, could I add on to that?
Oh, please go, Neva.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Miss Wilson personally for being my private teacher as well. And through Arrowhead Arts, I started through Arrowhead Arts when I saw them playing at the Jensen's Pumpkin Patch. And I was really inspired by them, like a group of kids just playing music at a Jensen's Pumpkin Patch during the Halloween season. And I thought, wow, I want to try that too. So through lessons with Miss Wilson and Arrowhead Arts, and through the Arrowhead Arts program, I got to be a part of MountainTop Strings. So really, thank you for starting my music journey.
That's really sweet.
Neva, you never know, where you're gonna find our string players. So anyway, thank you everybody. You can reach us by our website is www.mountaintopstrings.org, or you could reach me at Sharon@mountaintopstrings.com. And we hope to see you next Saturday. Thanks.
Yeah, so thank you so much, everybody. We will see you later.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Sorry.